let's go to a matchup out in Denver on Sunday afternoon, a potential Super Bowl preview as Jordan Love and the 9-3-1 Green Bay Packers are traveling to Denver to take on Bo Nix and the 11-2 Denver Broncos. The Packers are favored by 2.5 points. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff in Denver. The over-under for this matchup is 43.5 points. I actually agree with this line. I believe that the Packers should be favored coming into this game. And the Broncos, I have questions about. I'm going to get to them here shortly. But when it comes to the Packers, they are on a 4-game winning streak. And they've won 3 straight games within the NFC North over the Vikings, Lions, and Bears last week. And the Packers are fresh off of a big win in Week 14. The Packers beat the Bears in Lambeau Field 28-21. And that was arguably the biggest win of the season for the Packers because the NFC North was up for grabs. The number 2 seed in the NFC was also up for grabs. And not only did the Packers leapfrog the Bears in the NFC North standings, but they also leapfrogged the Bears in the NFC standings overall. They went from 6 to 2 right now in the NFC standings. So a big win for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. And when I look at Jordan Love has been balling. He's been balling. And in his last 4 games, Jordan Love, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he has the highest QBR in the NFL since Week 8. And so I remember after the Packers, they had a game against the Philadelphia Eagles where they lost in Week 10-7. And there were people, including myself, who talked about how the Packers offense was broken and how Matt LaFleur was being very conservative as a play caller, and he wasn't being aggressive. He had a very conservative approach. And I called out Matt LaFleur on Wise Guy Sports. I said, what the hell is going on, Matt? You need to figure this out. Allow Jordan Love to cook. And that's exactly what Matt LaFleur has done in these last 4 games. Jordan Love has been balling since the Packers lost 2 straight games in weeks 9 and 10 against the Panthers and the Eagles. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and he's been arguably the best quarterback in pro football during that time span. But he hasn't been alone. Christian Watson has 5 touchdowns in 4 games that he's played over the last few weeks, so he also has been balling. And that's the thing. Christian Watson's deep threat ability, it takes the Packers offense to another level because now the opposing defense, they have to respect Christian Watson's speed. And so it gives Josh Jacobs an opportunity within the running game to be able to run the football. Because you can't have your secondary. You have to make sure they are ready and on alert in case Christian Watson decides to go deep. So it really helps the Packers in the running game because now you can't bring those safeties down in the box. And so now the Packers can run the football and Josh Jacobs can be effective in the running game because of it. So I believe Christian Watson's impact has been significant on the Packers offense. And they got back Jayden Reed last week. I think Jayden Reed had 2 receptions for like 22 receiving yards against the Bears. Jayden Reed is that intermediate receiver for Jordan Love within the Packers offense. He's the receiver that catches the football in those 15 to 20 yard areas of the field. And I think Dontavius Wicks, who we saw on Thanksgiving, had a great performance. I also believe he has great ability within this Packers offense. I still want to see them get Matthew Golden going. He was the Packers' first-round pick this year. He really hasn't had much of an impact in his rookie season, but he's now healthy, and the Packers are getting healthy right in the most important time of the season. They just got back Jayden Reed and Matthew Golden. Christian Watson's been back for about 6 games now, 6 or 7 games. And so I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Packers offense, and I'm loving Matt LaFleur's aggressive approach as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And it's allowed Jordan Love to cook and play himself into the NFL MVP conversation. Because I'm looking at Jordan Love this year. For the season, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 3,028 passing yards. He's completing 67% of his passes. So to me, Jordan Love deserves to be in that conversation with Drake May and Matthew Stafford when it comes to NFL MVP candidates. No, he's not as high as Matthew Stafford is, but I believe Jordan Love has played equivalent to Drake May. I think Drake May has gotten more recognition because of the Patriots' 10-game winning streak, but I think Jordan Love has been balling and has played just as good as, if not better, than Drake May has. And I'm looking at Jordan Love. It's Toyotathon. And during Toyotathon, Jordan Love, 36 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. So Jordan Love balls out in the month of December for the Green Bay Packers. And so I'm loving what I'm seeing from my quarterback right now. And the thing is, the Broncos defense, they are a really good defense, but they better get to Jordan Love in this particular football game. And then when they get to him, they have to get him to the ground, because that's been the biggest difference for the Packers in wins and losses this year. In the Packers' 10 wins, they got 9 wins, but they have a tie against the Cowboys back in week 4. And their 10-win/tie, Jordan Love was sacked 9 times. His sack percentage was 2.9, touchdown to interception ratio, 21-2. And the Packers' 3 losses this year, Jordan Love was sacked 9 times, sack percentage 8.2, and his touchdown to interception ratio is 1-2. So that's the difference. If you cannot apply pressure on Jordan Love and don't sack Jordan Love, the Packers win football games. But if you can apply pressure on Jordan Love and get him to the ground, then you have a great possibility at possibly being able to beat the Packers. Now, on the flip side, the Denver Broncos, they are also on a 10-game winning streak. And they are coached by Sean Payton. And Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in pro football. He's a Super Bowl champion as a NFL head coach. And when I think about best coaches in his era, the Bill Belichick's of the world, the Andy Reids of the world, Sean Payton deserves to be in that conversation. And I believe Sean Payton, honestly, is the most trustworthy piece when it comes to the Denver Broncos as a football team. And the Broncos right now, they sit tied with the Patriots at the top of the standings in the AFC. And their defense is the strength of their team. And we're going to start off with their defense tonight on Wise Guys because their offense struggles. Let's talk about the Broncos' elite defense. They're led by defensive coordinator Vance Joseph and all-pro cornerback Pat Surtain, who has returned back to the field from his injury that he suffered earlier this season. And the Broncos' defense, they arguably are the best defense in pro football. I believe the Texans and the Broncos and even the Packers are the top 3 best defenses in the NFL. And the Broncos, they have 10 and multiple players on their team who can get after the quarterback. All 11 of their players can get after the quarterback. And I'm looking at the Broncos. They lead the NFL in sacks this season. They have 55 sacks. 55 sacks for the Denver Broncos. And not only is it just Pat Surtain who's creating havoc on the defensive side of the ball for the Broncos. Up front, you got Zach Allen, DJ Jones, okay, Jonathan Cooper as well, Alex Singleton, and at linebacker, you got Dre Greenlaw, okay? You still got Hufanga in that secondary with Pat Surtain, and you also have Riley Moss as well. This Broncos defense, they are elite. They are elite, and they are playing some very, very elite football right now. And I think the Broncos defense, they are the biggest reason why the Broncos sit here at 11-2. And the reason why the Broncos are running away with the AFC West. On the flip side, Bo Nix this year, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 2,954 passing yards. He's completing 63% of his passes. So far this season, to me, Bo Nix hasn't progressed as a quarterback the way most people thought he would coming into this season. It's like he's managing games, but has not really been that impressive. He has not been impressive. And to me, in order for the Broncos to accomplish their goal, which is reach a Super Bowl, they're going to need more from Bo Nix. They're going to need more from Bo Nix. The Broncos, they beat the Raiders last week in Week 14, 24-17. But even in that game, they struggled in that game. I mean, that game was competitive. It was competitive. I mean, you going into the fourth quarter. Into the fourth quarter, the Broncos actually were struggling to put away the Las Vegas Raiders. They really, really were. The Raiders scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. The Broncos, they had a punt return for a touchdown by Cole. But other than that, I thought the Broncos struggled. I mean, you only scored 24 points against the Raiders. The Raiders have arguably the worst defense in pro football. Worst defense in pro football. I expected the Broncos to actually blow out the Raiders, and that simply did not happen. And so to me, Bo Nix is just managing games. And I look at the Broncos receiving core. Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant. I like their tight end and Evan Ingram, but I really don't believe in their receiving core either. I like Cortland Sutton, but he's the only proven commodity in that offense. So I like Sean Payton as their head coach. I think Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in pro football. To me, Bo Nix has struggled this season and has not progressed the way that Bronco fans expected coming into the season. And so to me, I believe that the Packers have a more complete football team than the Broncos have. Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Bo Nix is. And to me, the Packers defense is just as good as the Broncos defense. So I think the defenses will cancel each other out. But the Packers offense is significantly better than the Broncos offense. And Jordan Love is significantly better than Bo Nix. Therefore, I'm rolling with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers to beat Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Packers 27, Broncos 17. Go, Pack, go.